What's up, Catfish people? Hope everybody's doing good on this wonderful, what is it, Thursday night? I think that's where we're at. Hopefully I got a half decent signal. I'm not sure what it's like out here. Uh, but guess what? I'm night fishing and enjoying a refreshing diet sundrop. What's up, T-Man? How you doing, buddy? Hope y'all are doing well. I'm out dragging a few baits around. I'm on Lake Wiley. And Crazy Street, Chris Hovis. What's up, buddy? It's about bedtime for you, isn't it? Or are you out there shooting deer with a BB gun out of your garden? Is that what's going on? Out dragging some baits. Took a nap this afternoon. Got in from work, and wife was gone, so I took a nap and woke up very rested. So I'm out here dragging some baits. Man, it's a good crowd jumping in here tonight. What the plan is, I have marked a ton of fish. I rode around a little bit. There's a thank you for the love your channel there, Daniel Walker. And I marked a ton of fish, man. There are a bunch of big arches out here. Two issues. There's also a plankton plume going on. So there's a little bit of that. Where I'm at, there's no thermocline, but there's some fish. They're in deep water. So the fish are suspended, some of them, but some of them are moving toward the bank. So, dude, I rode around literally from about 30 minutes before dark until now, just looking at places, and finally found a place I wanted to. I decided to troll. I'm just going to troll down through here, going really slow, about a half a mile an hour, 0.4, and yeah, so that's kind of the plan. I got 6 rods out. All of them have bluegill on them, in case you're wondering. Somebody just asked that a second ago. And they're on Santee rigs. A couple of them have the rattling type lures that I did the video on a couple of days, a demon dragon style. They're not demon dragons, but they're like them. One of them is called a dragon shad. And what else? Just regular Santee rigs. A couple of line rattles from Hooker's Terminal Tackle, and then some pig floats. So that's kind of the combination. My one concern is that, and any of you guys that are new to watching my live feeds, I know I've got a bunch of new subscribers here recently. I'm just easily distracted. So whenever I hear a noise, if I stop talking and turn around, I'm usually looking at something going on back there. Whoever's just threw in $5, I appreciate that. Okay, fishing, not catching. Man, thank you. That's very kind of you. I appreciate it. Somebody does pay for the live streaming, and that's where your $5 will go to right there. So appreciate that, man. Thank you. I'm hoping that I am catching and not fishing tonight. Oh, the perils, the perils. Palmetto Cats, thank you. Hopefully, I'm on here long enough to give you a shout out and a thank you for doing that. My signal's bad for some reason where I'm at. But Palmetto Cats, thank you. And Fishing Not Catching, thank you. Appreciate that. I'm going to try to keep this thing live here as long as the signal stays up. I'm also, hey, Chris, I'm sorry you lost me. I need to make a map of places with good signal to go live from. I thought this was a good area right through here, but for some reason I'm getting dropped. So, anyway, Pamlico, South Carolina, there's a tournament. I don't know if I'll be able to make it, but I'll at least give you a shout out here on that. If you'd be interested, there's a catfish tournament Saturday, August 3rd at DeWitt's Bluff Landing in Pamlico, South Carolina. It's for the Shriners. Mike, do me a favor. Go to my website, DieterMelhornFishing.com. and send me a message about that. Just email me. I've got all my contact stuff there on my website, and I'll actually put it up on my Facebook fishing page to let people know about it, and let them know what's going on that. So, let's see. Bottom dollar. Now I know why you missed the live feed. Yeah, that's why I was out here. Colton, thanks for asking. Grayson is at home. He has been doing of all things, he's a retired gymnast now, so he's retired from gymnastics, but he's doing a tennis and swimming camp, of all things. One of his friends is doing it, so They've been doing that all week. I think they play chase with the tennis balls and hit each other with it more than anything. But yeah, we'll see. Something different, something cool. He's having fun. So if anybody came in late, first of all the new people that are here, thank you for coming by. If you're a subscriber to the channel, all the new people, thank you for subscribing. I'm trying to do more of these. Um, Past the spawn, I'm going to try to do a few more of these at night, and yeah, see if we can do a few more of them. So if you're new to the channel, hopefully you'll get a few more out of me on these. Dave was just asking, or no, it's Richard Ward was asking, did Dave agree to do a podcast? He did not. I hate that. I think he may have been having some cougar issues at that point. I think the cougar may have went wild, and he was trying to tame the cougar, and I think that failed. That was all right around that time period. So I'm going to be back out to Tennessee here in a few weeks fishing, and I'm going to try to get up with him then. I'd love to do a podcast with him. I'd also like to do a little drop in and see him when he's fishing. I did it, I think it was last year, and he's a real cool guy. I've got an interview with him here on my channel. If you just search here on YouTube, Dieter, Melhorn, and Catfish Dave, you'll see an interview that I did with him from the Catfish Conference. And by the way, the dates are picked for the Catfish Conference. I want to say it's the week after the Daytona 500. I know that because I'm going to be working the Daytona 500, and it's the week after that. So what is plankton bloom? That's a good question. Who was that? Noga Life. Is that North Georgia? Noga? I assume that's North Georgia. If it is, I'm going to be in Dawsonville 2 weeks, something like that. Anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. Reaver 2248. Very good point what you made about the comments, and I'm going to address that right now while there's a few people in there. The comments are not my doing, folks. Where's them crack? The comments are not my doing. I would turn them on if I could. I've tried to turn them on. I talked with YouTube yesterday via chat, and they gave me the politically correct answers that they're working on it, and that they're working to fix it. It's something to do with some people who are using the chat forums somehow to deal with child predators or something, or predators talking there or something. They don't give you any real clear answers on it. So it's not my doing. What I always tell people to do is go to the community section on my page. I try to take every video, put a clip of it over in the community section, and you can still comment there. So that's what I'm telling everybody to do, because I love hearing your comments. I love the interaction. I love the questions. If you can also go to my Facebook page. I hate driving people off of YouTube, but I've got Dieter Melhorn Fishing on Facebook, and that was a heron, sorry. I've got Dieter Melhorn Fishing on Facebook because I love hearing the comments. So yeah, that's what's going on with YouTube. I wish that was my doing. As soon as they're going to turn it back on, I'll have it back on. The bad thing is I'm hearing a lot of rumors that they may do away with comments on all the channels completely for all of YouTube. So, and also keep looking for boats and idiots in the background. That's everything. Sergeant Skinner, no fish yet. Just got started here a few minutes ago with this, 9 minutes into this live stream, and nothing. I've got mixed emotions on the fish. There's a lot of suspended stuff, and if you watch any of my videos, I don't get really excited about suspended fish. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We're just going to drag here for a while. I'll try to do this tomorrow night, maybe. What was this? You got me back in the Catfishing Leverage channel, man. That's cool, buddy. Thank you. It's kind of why I do it. We try to do. And it can be, you can help them through fishing, obviously. But for some people, it's like it was. Cool. Let the noise settle down. That is my accident avoidance lighting system, as I call it. Those big guys and those big boats, I hate to stereotype people, but they usually consume a lot of alcohol at night. And so I just try to light them up and blind them so that they know I'm here. because I don't want to get it. It's another reason, PFD at night. I should wear it during the day more than I do, but when I'm out here at night, I've got the thing on because bad stuff can happen out here. I don't know what I missed there in the feed. But I'm going to scroll back through it here. After fish are in deeper water, Chris, it's a waste of time if they're fishing in deeper water. I am seeing fish in deeper water. I'm seeing a lot more stuff in deeper water. Palmetto Cats, thank you for that. Appreciate it, buddy. That's very kind of you. You're getting all the shout outs in the world. I know somebody was asking, Reeling the Blues is in the house. What's up, buddy? Team Reeling the Blues, you should have brought me. Listen, dude, I know you. You're tired. You work hard for a living. And I got to take a nap today, probably about the time you were getting off work. So I may drag you out this weekend, though, if you can. Fish are, I've been seeing a lot of stuff in deeper water because there's some areas now where they're moving a lot of water through the system. I say a lot of water. They're moving water regularly. And in those parts, it's broken up a thermocline. Now, if you go further south on the lake, there's a pretty well-defined thermocline. But I'm kind of in the upper middle section. I'm above Buster Boyd Bridge fishing. And yeah, there's no thermocline in here that I can see. Like I said, there's some plankton. Somebody asked about that earlier. What happens is this plankton life, whatever, we always just call it a plankton bloom. And I don't know if that's technically the biological process that happens, but there is stuff that is on the bottom of the lake during the day, and it's in the summertime, and at night it kind of blooms. And you'll see it start when it gets dark down here at the bottom of the screen, and it will go up through the water column. It kind of goes everywhere because I guess there's no light, or it's looking for light or something. I guess it's looking for light. Is that what it is? I don't know. But it fills up your sonar screen, and you have to tweak and play around with the sensitivity on your sonar screen, or you can't see stuff. For whatever reasons, I don't generally catch a lot of fish around it, and I don't really know what that is. Breaking up Ozark guys fishing. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. That's the trade-off of doing stuff mobile. You don't know what you're going to get out of here signal-wise. At least it's staying connected for now, knock on wood. But yeah, you get that plankton bloom going on, and it's usually in areas of deeper water, usually in areas where there's not much current. And so that's kind of what it is. It can be a pain in the butt. What I end up having to do is crank up my sensitivity on my sonar, and it gives a really weird looking picture. I'll show you here. Get to it. Boom, I'll show you what it looks like. See if I can move this without disconnecting it. That's what the sonar screen looks like. Normally, if you come over here to sensitivity, the sensitivity when it goes to auto would be somewhere in there. And because of all this stuff going on, I crank it up and it pings through it. There's a good arch. That's a good fish right there. That's what I'm looking to catch. But there's stuff scattered all through there, so that's kind of what's going on with that. Let me get this back up here in the holder. Hopefully I didn't lose the connection there. I am trolling, technically. I know people drift, troll, drag. They're all kind of terms that get kind of intermixed there. There's no wind out here, and there is no current, so I'm using a trolling motor. I've only got it set on about 2 right now, and I got a little small drift sock out the back. And I just heard something, sorry. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just trolling down through here in the deeper water. I'm going to drag this river channel for a while. I'm in the middle of it. It's about 32 feet deep. Man, there's some good arches right here. I can show you all this. This looks at the bottom that's looking decent. If you're wondering what this is a sound I get when I put a drift sock out. Drift sock's way behind the boat, but for some reason it creates a sound right there, and I'm not sure exactly why. Like I said, the drift sock's way behind the boat. There's no cord. It almost looks like there's a downline, but I get that whenever I put a drift sock out. It's kind of weird. Yeah, there's some fish in here. So what's going to happen is we're going to pull down through here, see if we hit any of them, and get that back into the right mode there where I can see my map. See if we can catch some. Then I'm going to go up shallow and see. Like I was saying earlier, sometimes when fish suspend, they're not feeding and they're not active, especially when they're suspended in open water. That's just something. When I see them around structure and stuff, it's I feel a little bit better about it, but when I see them suspended out in the middle of open water, it can be tough. Whoever said bring the ponytail back, I'm telling you, dude, having some short hair is so nice in the summertime. It was a mental game for me to keep the ponytail as long as I kept it. I did it for my wife. I love her, and she liked it for whatever reason, but I look stupid. So, honey, if you're watching, I love you. Ponytail's not coming back; it's gone. So, uh, it's uh, it's it's uh, it's hot in the summer. It's aggravating. It was a big mental thing. So anyway, what line do you use the most? Mike, good question. The only line I'm using right now is Andy Monster. It's the high vis yellow. I'll show you. Oh crap. Oh crap. You know what I forgot to do? Look, look, look. The line's almost gone. You know what that means? Stupid, forgot to put it in gear. So you know what that means? I got to reel all this line back onto the reel. That's never happened before. Okay, I'm lying. That has happened before. Uh, it's Andy line, and you can see it goes onto the reel very smoothly. Hey, Jeff Manning, you in here? You ever done that? You ever casted one out and ran it all the way down to the spool? Yeah. Thank God I didn't hook into a 50-pound fish, or I would have been winching on this thing for hours. A lot of line out. But anyway, to answer your question, Andy Monster, 30-pound. I had used just regular Andy. I think it was their tournament grade or something. And then Jeff Manning, I think, had found the Monster in blue, and which seems to be I almost got blue. I just bought another spool of this. I almost got blue, but I guess my OCD kicked in, and I ended up getting the high vis yellow. I like the high vis yellow just because I fish multiple lines during the day, and it doesn't really buy you that much at night. But yeah, I'm still reeling here. Still putting line on. Still putting line on. And the reels, this reel is an Ancient Mariner. It's one of their, what is that, 6,000? Yeah, they call it a 6,000 series. Got a power handle. It's a guy who sells them, and I believe he's in New York. And I've got some videos on them. Just go here on the channel, Dieter Melhorn, Ancient Mariner, and there'll be some videos to talk about them. I've also got, going back in the holder, I've got 6 reels out. 2 of them are the Ancient Mariners. 2 of them are Abreu Garcia C300s, 6500s. And the other are 2 Penn, is it the 60s, XL60s, CL60s? I've got videos about those too. Dieter Melhorn, not Penn. You can tell I don't work for these people. What are they called? Lew's reels, Lew's, L-E-W-S. I've got my Penn spinning reel in my head. Somebody asked if I take the wife fishing, if I can get her to go. She seldom ever wants to go fishing. Actually, I don't think she ever wants to go. I twist her arm and get her to go. She says she never catches fish, but part of that is because the only time she wants to go fishing is when it's warm. And as a bunch of you know, fishing when it's warm and hot in summertime is not the best time to go, like right now. So I try to, but she's not a big fisher person. So, but I still love her. She's actually home wrangling the rugrats and probably spending my money right now. So here we go. But somebody, Skeeter's Bugs Body, no, the actual, for whatever reason, there's not a lot of bugs, and I've got this light up. I think we're past that big hatch time that you get in the earlier part of the summer, and it's not that bad. So, let's see what we got here. What's that? Steven, love your channel. We don't have blue cats here in Wisconsin. You don't have blue cats in Wisconsin, but you got flatheads and you got big deer. So you got that going for you. Wisconsin got some good deer. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that. It's good to hear the comments. Like I said, I was telling people earlier, I wish for any of y'all that there's a bunch of people in here since I said this last, so I'll say it again. My comments are turned off on my channel, not because of me. I try once a week to try to turn them back on. It's a thing YouTube's doing. They hit up a bunch of people. Luke Nichols from Outdoor Boys, his are turned off, and a bunch of other people. That's a YouTube thing. It's something they're trying to do with child predators that are using channels to communicate. And because my son has been in some videos, they hit a bunch of channels. What's frustrating is there's a bunch of channels that are kid channels that don't have their comments blocked. So uh, it makes me want to beat my head in the wall because I'm one of the few people out there that has a channel that tries to respond to everybody that makes a comment. But the good news is, go to the community section on my page, and I try to, there's a section there where you can comment. If you got a question, I get notified when you put something up. So I try to answer and communicate with everybody there. So far, we haven't caught a fish. What's going to happen is I'm dragging through a narrow area here, and it's kind of in a river ditch, deeper stuff. Just seeing if there's any biting fish in this deeper water, and I'm going to pull up onto a flat once I get past some boat docks down here, just to try to hit something different. Great crowd tonight. Thanks everybody for coming and checking it out. I know there's probably a lot of new people that have never watched this channel before, and I appreciate it. Thank you. I know I've got a lot of new subscribers recently, and appreciate you stopping by and checking it out. I'm gonna try to do some of these at night. I may try to give Live PD a run for their money Friday and Saturday night, and come out here and do it again. What do you or something? Ma'am. That's it. Make sure I don't have lines spilled off. Everybody's in gear. Okay. Sorry. What was I saying? Let me turn that light off. There was a question. I forgot it. Something about a cast king. Or was a cat? There was something. All right, I'll answer a bunch of them. Unlimited rods. There is a rod limit. It's 12,000. You can only fish with 12,000 rods. I say that jokingly. No, we don't have a rod limit in North South Carolina. What's funny is there's a rod limit on the bank in South Carolina. It's 4 rods per person, which I think is silly, but I kind of understand it. Well, like the North Carolina or South Carolina sideboard, there's a fish. There's a big fish. All right, stand by. He is. Let me make sure that's a fish. Whoop. Get some cameras rolling here. I'm gonna jack this light up, guys. Let's see which way that fish is going. Boom, hooked up. Can't tell what it is yet. He pulled some line off when he first went. Turn that light a little bit. Get that way. There we go. He smoked some line. On top of the water. My money's on a blue. That's what I'm thinking. Anytime they come to the top of water that early, it's usually a blue. This is on a Big Cat Fever rod, medium action. This is one of the loose reels. Oh, he's going. Got a little bit of weight to him. Get decent fish. Swam off to the side, came to the top of the water, went off to the side. Somebody made fun of me the other day. They said my reaction to a 5-pound fish is the same as a big one. I don't know if that means I go crazy over little fish or don't have no reaction over big fish. Probably gonna hit this light. He's not a monster, but he's good. We're going cowboy. We're gonna boga grip him. Man, he hit it like a lot bigger fish. Easy. Simmer down. Easy, easy. God, you're only... Hey, this is only... Turn the light off here. It's only a 12-pound fish. He hit it like a freight train. Yes. Oh, oh, oh. Light is bright. There you can see him. See if I can get him on my camera from a video. Good blue. We go. Remember, any fish caught live, it's a good fish. All right. Now, y'all are new to my channel. You'll know, well, you won't know. I throw these puppies back. You know why? Because they're my babies. I love them. Release the live. Slime on my lips. Look at that. Catfish slime right there. All right, get the slime off the seat. I'll show you the rig real quick. Let me dim this light down a little bit now. We're kind of back to normal here. Santee rig. If you watched my shad, my rattling shad video day before yesterday, this is the one that's in the thumbnail. It's called a dragon shad. Hook's attached directly to the back of it. It rattles. It's on a Santee rig of sorts. Main line. Thought I heard another one. Main line here, 30-pound Andy. A snap swivel. Try to get that against my face there. Snap swivel has the weight. These are pencil weights from Dale's Tackle. And a piece of leader material. I think this is 50-pound Andy clear monofilament. I don't use fluorocarbon. Got a little small hook on. Look how little that hook is. That is only, next to my face, I think that one there is probably a 4/0 hook. That is a 4/0 Hooker's Terminal Tackle Circle hook. Then a little piece of brim fillet on it. So that's what we're fishing. I've got, let's see what the heck I'm at here. Check my speed. Speed's good. What I do is I've got 6 rods out the back. You think it's kind of a mess to deal with. Let me turn these cameras off. But what I do is I'll take this one. That fish came right there. I'll cast this straight out the side and then move these rods up to the center. Kind of a little system, everybody does it. What I do is I throw it out to the side, and then as it slowly trolls through here, it'll pull back in line. So that's kind of what we're doing. Sorry, I'm just gonna check a line here real quick. I forgot to show you. That's the rod. Any of y'all are new to the game. If you've been around, you know who they are, Big Cat Fever. But it's their medium action. It's the one I complained about. I'll tell you about that in a second. All right, I'm back. The thing was with the rods, I complained about their black rods. I fished with them for a long time. And complained about not having white ones. They finally make white ones because you can see them now. See them in the background? You can actually see them. You don't have to put lights on them. Sometimes I'll use lights if I'm like not filming. There's some different ones out there. Lightning Bugs makes one. That kind of slips onto your rod. So yeah, some different ones out there. I'm gonna do a video on them, put them all together, I've got like 3 different ones at the house, and they all kind of do different stuff. So anyway, Journey Lake, where am I fishing? Billy, I'm on Lake Wiley, my home lake here in the Carolinas, and kind of up above Buster Boyd Bridge. I call it the middle upper end of the lake. So, see what I missed in here? Palmetto Cats is answering questions for me. That's good. Yeah, I am. I am dragging bait, so I'm technically trolling because I'm using a motor to move the boat. Where I'm at, there's really no current tonight. There's no wind. It's pretty calm. And yeah, just got a Minn Kota trolling motor. About to hit a buoy. No, I'm gonna miss it. Let me turn here a little bit. Use my remote here to control the thing. So it's up on the bow. Somebody asked what kind of boat. I've got a 198 DLV. I need to do a video about that. I need to do a video about it. I get a bunch of people asking about it and just show them kind of the boat. So 198 DLV, it's a Carolina skiff. It's got a 90 horsepower Suzuki on it that is like, gosh, how old is that thing now? 12 years old, 11 or 12 years old. I think I'm gonna get ready to, I think I'm gonna upgrade to a 115. I'm probably gonna keep the boat. I can't decide what I'm gonna do. I may upgrade boats, I don't know. But I don't know what else I want as far as boats go. So if I don't make my mind up soon, I'm just gonna put another motor on it. So do I ever fish the middle of Tennessee? Derek, no, not the middle. Everywhere I fish is eastern Tennessee. Over in the Wattsboro, Lenore City, Loudon, that whole area. Yeah, I've never been to middle Tennessee, but I may be out there in a couple weeks. I don't want to jinx anything, but I may be out there striper fishing somewhere. So, and sorry, I'm keeping an eye on a boat. There's a Thursday night bass series that's on this lake, and there's one making a turn toward me. The bad part is we're kind of in a narrow little chute right here, so I may have to kill the light here for a second and light him up just to, yeah, let me do that. Just to make sure that I get seen. I fish with ugly sticks. Thoughts? Nothing wrong with them. I caught pretty much, and his lights just disappeared. That was weird. Sorry. You fish with ugly stick. I count my personal best blue cat on an ugly stick. My personal best flathead came on an ugly stick. And I don't know how many 40, 50, 60-pound fish I've caught on ugly stick. Nothing wrong with them. They're great rods. They will catch fish. There's, you know, the biggest thing with them is if you start getting into an area. I've said for a long time, they'll land any catfish in America. The biggest thing with them is, I think, when you get into casting heavy weights, or if you're fishing in river current, it's going to be tough to get in big fish. You need something with probably a little more backbone and a little more weight if you're fishing big current. But I guess the best way to put it is, if you've been catching fish on them and you ain't got a problem with them, you're fine. So anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on them. I think they're good rods, and as far as a general all-around rod, is probably the best bang for the money, because I think they're only, what, $40 or something like that now. So yeah, it's a good rod for the money. Yeah, you're fishing heavier weights, casting heavier weights, especially you start getting into current. Yeah, bigger rods, heavier rods are better. But so anyway, James just say, would you please? I guess people must be asking what I'm using. A lot of times this stuff scrolls by and I don't see it. Thanks, James. Yeah, I'm using bluegill. I caught some right before I got out here. I had some in my bait tank. I was out here, when was I out here? Yesterday fishing, and I had a few left over. And so yeah, that's what I'm using. I'd like to get on some white perch and some shad, but I just hadn't taken the time to really go catch them. So yeah, bluegill tonight. That's what's on the table here. Have you ever fished Hartwell? I don't think I've ever fished. I've been on it, but I don't think I've ever actually fished it. I would like to go out there and do some striper fishing. But I've heard there comes a boat with a whole bunch of lights on it, which tells me they can't see. I'll give it a second before I blind them. But I like to fish it, but I heard there's a lot of timber and stuff in it. Every time I drive down 85 going to Georgia and I have to cross it, I always go, man, I need to come down here and fish. But usually if I'm going to drive that far, I'll go to Clark's Hill and go striper fishing just because I know my way around a little bit better down there. And that's where I usually end up going. Somebody just asked, do I use little bitty pieces of bluegill? It all depends. I've got a mix out right now. Because here's what I found lately. I fished live baits and I haven't been hit on them the past couple times. Heads, I've caught fish on. Bigger bluegill with the side flayed off of them, I hadn't caught any fish on. So I'm not sure what all exactly it is. It seems like a lot of stuff right now is feeding on mussels. And sorry, I'm paying very close attention to what this boat's doing. Anytime a boat comes down the lake with headlights on, I get very worried because that generally tells me they can't see and they're not experienced boaters. Because if you're running down the lake at night with headlights on, I'll show you. There we go. With headlights on, you generally can't see what's going on, or you're not an experienced boater, and you need to be careful. And I get very cautious around people like that. So that's why I flip a light around so you can see what's going on. How you doing? Good night. So anyway, yeah, it's people you at night driving on lake. You don't need floodlights in front of you. It's unless you're in a place where you got like trees that you're worried about navigating through. Running down the lake wide open like him, let your night vision do your thing. If you don't have enough night vision to see stuff on the water, you're not going to see it when you're running down the lake full speed and all of a sudden you're on it and your light's hit it. You're going to hit it anyway. So anyway, enough of my preaching on that. Bottom line is, see, I'm looking back through there and he's got his lights on. I can't see anything in front. There's nothing for it to reflect off of. So I digress. Where was I? It's legal to navigate in the state of South Carolina with those lights on because boaters can't see your nav lights. Dustin, you're exactly right. It's illegal in North Carolina too. And why the Bikini Patrol is not out here writing tickets for that and stopping people from doing it, I have no idea. Did I zoom in on the camera some? Yeah, I did. There we go. But we all know that the Bikini Patrol is what I affectionately refer to our police boat here from the county that's out here, because the only time they're on the water is when bikinis are out, and we love them. We love them being out. They're actually, I think, school resource officers that are off in the summer and then they patrol the lake. So, Lake Lanier striper fishing. I've been striper fishing on Lake Lanier, and man, that is a big chunk of water down there. We used to have family down in, I said we used to have family, we still got family down in Georgia. If my wife's watching and they're watching, they'll love this. But we don't go see them anymore. We make them come up here. So I used to go down there and would take my boat down and go fishing. But yeah, that's a big old cool body of water. And really, you know, that's the thing, man. I'm so blessed where I live that there's so much stuff within pretty quick driving distance of where I'm at. I can't even fish all the lakes around here. When I turn out of my driveway, I have to decide whether I'm going right or left. And then I get to the next stoplight and it's like I can go right or I can go straight. And it's just, there's a lot of opportunities. So I'm hoping, I'd love for this channel to keep growing to where I can go visit and fish a bunch of these different places and do some shows from different ones. But that's the dream anyway. All right, so here's what's happened. I'll bring you up to date. I know there's a bunch of people in here tonight. Thanks everybody for dropping by. I know I got a lot of new people. And so yeah, thanks for coming by and checking it out. What I'm gonna do here, no, I haven't been to Wateree. I'm going down Saturday, but we're putting out some feeders on our hunt club. I don't know if I'm gonna get to fish. I had planned to go down there all weekend into Monday and Tuesday, but I think work's gonna get in the way. So anyway, now you got me depressed. I really want to go to Wateree. Anyway, I heard they found the girl who drowned down there. There was somebody drowned at Singleton Creek, somewhere right around the mouth of it. Uh, it's been a bad year. It's been a lot of people lost out here on the water. Uh, anyway, what I was saying, I'm in the deeper part. Catfish clothing, thank you for that 99¢. I'm gonna use it to buy me a ice cold sun drop on the way home. For you, buddy. Sun drop sponsor. Uh, I'm gonna run right up here on this flat next to the river channel and get out of this deeper water. The only fish I caught was that one. Y'all got to see that. And I'm sitting in about 30 feet of water. Water's 87 degrees, in case anybody asks. We had a front come through 2 days ago. Got a little bit of rain, but it's made our nighttime temperatures very nice. It's going to be down. I think we may have set a all-time low this morning, 61 degrees, which isn't exactly cold, but my boat turned to go back over there on that. But yeah, 61 degrees, and that's nice in the summertime. That's nice in July. So water temperatures might have pulled back a little bit. They were like 89 when I was out here the day before yesterday. So they pulled back just a little bit. Yeah, some of y'all have to go to bed, dude. It's 10:30. I appreciate y'all coming in here. I hope to get on a little bit earlier. But if you're like me, it seems like that 9 to 11 range is a great time to check out a live feed of somebody fishing, because you've ate dinner, you're relaxing, you're winding down, and it's just something to watch, hoping something happens. So far, we've only got one. Catfish clothing is up in the ante. Here's something for the Viennese sausages. I didn't do that on camera. I should have. I survived it. I was on the boat. It's been a couple of weeks ago, and I was hungry, and none of my boat food was on here. I keep using some boat food. Usually it's salmon. It's canned salmon. I've got that in some videos. That stuff's really good. But I found a can of Viennese sausages buried up underneath some stuff in the back, and I ate them. They were past the expiration date, and some people said Viennese sausages never expire. They just put that on there for legalities. But can I get a shout out? And I really enjoy your videos. Colton Outdoors, what's up, player? Thank you for that, man. I appreciate that. That is very kind of you. Yeah, you definitely get a shout out for that. I appreciate you watching the channel too. Thank you for being a viewer and taking the time to comment, dude. That's awesome. It's flattering and humbling, and all at the same time when people do stuff like that. And I kind of never expected it when I started focusing on building the channel. So it's kind of cool that there's 166 people sitting here watching. And so I just keep on trying to crank out some good content and crank out some good stuff that keeps y'all kind of entertained. And it's let's see, I found crappie last night in Big Allison. We might be taking a boat ride tomorrow when I'm down here. It's a bay boat, correct, Mark? The skiff's not really a bay boat like a Ranger bay boat. It's kind of got the V hull. These don't have they're not a flat bottom like a DLX Carolina skiff. It's kind of got a little bit of V to it. I'd consider it a bay. I mean, it's kind of in that bay boat class. It's not something, I mean, I'll run it out 5 miles into the ocean on a good day, but it's not a deep V kind of plowing kind of hull. So good utilitarian boat. You're able to put a lot of stuff on it. The price point used to be pretty good on them. I heard they're a little more expensive now, but I got mine, I want to say 2007, something like that. And yeah, good boats. They take a pretty good beating. I've heard of stuff cracking in them, but I haven't had any issues with mine. So yeah, good boat. Let's see, have you been striper fishing at Weldon Rockfish Landing? No, I have not been Weldon Rockfish Landing. I have no idea where that's at. Was that for me or was that for Catfish Clothing? That sounds like something that, when you say rockfish and something like that, that sounds like that might be up in his way in Virginia. Catfish Weekly, these were barbecue flavored, and they still tasted like barbecue. The bad thing is, I don't think if you smell them things, you could ever tell if anything was wrong. Adam says he watches every video. Just found your channel a month ago. And Adam, here's what's amazing. Chime in real quick and tell me how you found my channel. Because silly me thinks that everybody in the world would know about my channel because I put out so many videos. The truth is, that ain't the truth. It's this stuff everybody doesn't just know it's there. You got to either get it suggested to you, show up in your timeline, or somehow stumble across it. So I'm interested to hear how you found out about me. James, thank you for that. It's very kind of you. I appreciate that. It's stuff like that that it goes to pay for the data to do these live streams and stuff. It all's got a good use. Who was that? Was that Bottom Dollar Outdoors, gas money, keep the live feeds coming? Well, guys, I'm gonna have to crank out some more of them. I'm gonna try to do some this weekend. If everything works out, I'm gonna try to get out Friday or Saturday night one. Another night that seems to be good that people like to watch is on Sunday night. Had kind of a full day, relaxing weekend. It's kind of cool to watch it. So, Center High Catfish, found it through Catfish Dave. Interestingly enough, and I'd be curious to see Catfish Dave's analytics on this. A lot of people, you can go into the analytics on the YouTube channel and look at a specific video. What the heck was that? Weird sound. Big splash. You can look and see how people come to, get that light off, a particular video. And a lot of people come to my videos through Catfish Dave. So that's kind of interesting. So apparently it's, YouTube's very good with their artificial intelligence and algorithms and everything else that figure out, like-minded content. So what he and I need to do is sync up on when there's a fish. I thought I heard something. A small fish. At least I think it's a fish. I think it's a fish. I think it's a fish. This may or may not be a fish. I'm not sure. If it is a fish, it's a small fish. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. But, yeah, it's a fish. We got a fish. Fish on. I'm gonna be very gentle with this one. This is what I call walleye fishing them. I don't want it to pop off. Because remember, any fish caught live is a good fish. I can't tell what it is. On top of the water. Money says, what goes to the top of the water? Y'all tell me. My light on? Make sure it comes down. But it's thrashing its head like a channel cat. But it's on the water like a blue. We're gonna find out. It sounds like a blue. It sounds too big to be a channel cat. Say. Say. All right, let's do this a smart way and get it by the leader. Boom. Boom. Fish. Man got a fish. Sorry, was fiddling with him for the other camera. Easy, stop. This is not going to be that difficult. as big as the last one, but a blue cat nonetheless. Yes. A few camera shots there. Bam. Yes, guys. No monster. Are we going to a pay lake? No. Not tonight. Not tonight. We're going back in the water. Say bye, everybody. Good fish. Good fish. Make a little love. Get down tonight. Let's see what the magic combination was there. Everything untangled. And that's right when I came up on the ledge out of the river channel. Same basic setup, except it's a peg float. Got a hooker's terminal tackle line rattle on it. Peg float, hooker's terminal tackle circle hook as it quits spinning. That one there is a 5/0. So there you go. Let me grab a piece of bait, rebait here. All right, so make a mental note, guys. I'm gonna put a whole bluegill on here, a small one. See if we can get one. Oh, I just pushed my thing wrong. Sorry. The boat straight. Back around. There we go. Got a bluegill. Bam. We're gonna fish a live one. Woo! I'm back. Sorry about that. Catching some fish. I gotta reset my fish clicker. If y'all have never been on Dieter Melhorn fishing before, you'll know I have the fish clicker. We didn't get the first one, so we get two. We got two fish. That's it. We only got two fish. We're gonna see what happens though. I'm coming up about 25 feet of water. I'm coming kind of dragging up this slope here, and let me get up on this flat. See what I missed here in the comment. Gaston, you strong. What kind of line do you use? Andy line. Andy, 30-pound monster. I used 20-pound for years and years, and would probably still use it, but I'm doing more and more with planer boards, and I like having a little bit thicker line, and that's why I use the 30 now. I think with gives you a little more abrasion resistance when it comes to getting in yucky stuff too, so it helps with that. But yeah, it's just a little thicker. I'm not a big and I know everybody's different on this, okay? Everybody's different, but I don't use heavy line. I don't have a real need for it. I just, with the reels I've gotten, I can catch any fish, any catfish alive on what I've got. And I don't really believe in, and this is just me, this is just my opinion on this, but I don't believe, I don't want to, the best way to put this, because there's 2 or 3 ways I can say it and it's going to sound wrong, but I don't respect the fish. How timely respect the fish that you have that name right now. The reason I don't fish 60, 80, 100, 200 pound line is because the fish have to win sometimes. In my opinion, that's what I believe. That is why it is called sporting means. Okay, not that those other ways aren't legal. That's fine, but it's just like the guys who are fly fishermen and into the cast and fishing. Sorry, I got a bunch of boat wake here. Uh, that's not for me. They look at what we do as just being, it's not, there's real art and everything fly fishing. It's kind of the same thing to me in that I don't want to get a fish in a brush pile and a pile of stuff and pull him out with a 120 pound line just to say I caught him. I don't need to catch him that bad. I don't want to risk injuring the fish. Maybe tying him up into something where he's going to sit there and die. That's just not for me. So, 20, 30 pound line's plenty. I can catch with that. If you want to fish with heavier stuff, that's fine. But you got to remember too, folks, I've been fishing a long time and I've caught a lot of big fish, and I've got all that stuff that, when you're new, you want to do. And I'm at the point where it's just fun. It's fun. If the fish lose, if one breaks me off, which doesn't really happen, but if one would, that's fine, and I'm okay with that. One gets into a snag. I had one out here the other day the video I put up yesterday with the 50-pound fish. There was another one. I started to put that into it, but it was making the video way too long. I think I may have even said in that video I've got another fish on. That fish ended up going into a brush pile and ended up having to break it off. So anyway, the fish have to win sometimes. So that's why. That was a big, long thing. Respect the fish there with your contribution. Thank you. Is very timely that came up when it did, because that's just my attitude on it, man. And everybody's different, man. If it's respect the resource, respect the fish. And I think if you do that, we wouldn't need game laws, but we got to have them because not everybody does that. So, wait a second. I thought I seen something funny here. Let me scroll back. Wow. Grayson's not fishing, Scott, because he's got a camp going on this week, so he's got to be up early. Wait a second. What's this about Captain Daryl? I thought I seen Captain Daryl. Go for Captain Daryl's 8-pound test record. Please put out one big live bait, please. I only got one bait left, and I kind of want to keep it. I seen Captain Daryl. For those of y'all that don't know, there's a lot of people. There's 215 people in here, a lot of them from around the country. We have a legend in the Carolinas. He's Captain Daryl. Captain Daryl has, I think somebody said there, 22 world records. Now, I've got, personally, an IGFA record book at home. I was an IGFA member. I didn't see his name in it. Now, it could have been people on his boat, but there's only 1 or 2 records from Santee Cooper that are in there, and none of them were for catfish. So, anyway, and actually one of them was for catfish, the world record for channel cats from there, but that's before Daryl was born. Daryl is a great storyteller. Daryl never lets the truth get in the way of a great story. So I'm actually thinking about doing some videos that are Captain Daryl stories that I'm going to retell myself under a different character, almost like a Richard Dean, the fishing machine character, the old fisherman, because he's got some great stories. Who is that just doing $5? David, on Wally all night last night near the mouth of the South Fork. Several blues over 25 pounds, one was 41, full of mussels. Your visits helped me out a lot. David, that's awesome, dude. I'm actually coming near that area right now. So I don't think I will have that luck. I'd be curious to know if you were dragging or anchored. I would not mind anchoring up. I may do it before it's over with. It just all depends here. I'm just letting the boat. I hate being in that area with a lot of boat traffic. But David, thanks for the $5, dude. I'm glad that what I'm doing has helped you out a little bit. That's cool. That's cool. One of the, I've had some people message me. There were people, I'll tell you guys this, okay? when you put yourself out there in a public forum like this, some of you guys know me, most of you don't. I mean, there's a bunch of subscribers now. Most people have never met me, don't know me. Most of them that are watching this don't know me. But you put yourself out there to the public. Oh, what is that poem? No, it's a snake. Um, you get some lovers and you get some haters, and it's a interesting journey. I know there's some other people in here that have channels. I know Lyle from Catfish Weekly was in here earlier, and it's an interesting journey. But my whole point is trying to stay focused on the end goal, and that's to help people. And to I get some people that get on to what I was getting at was I had people message me, why do you show people how to catch fish? I had somebody get mad. I mean, it was pretty. I don't know why you're showing them how to catch fish. They need to figure it out themselves. They need to just get out there and learn like we did, and the hard way, and blah blah. Give them away 10 minutes, all this old, And to a certain extent, I agree with that. I mean, you got to get out there and learn how to fish. You don't want to go. The people that really know what they want, give me a spot to go fish. It don't work that way. But the whole point being is that I'll get distracted on the sidetrack here. I've said from the beginning with the channel, I think if you teach people how to fish, give people confidence to catch fish, they'll respect the resource, respect the fish that was up there earlier. And because I know growing up, man, I don't know how many fish I killed, big bass and everything else, just because you never caught one. And then when you caught one, you wanted to parade it all over the neighborhood to show it to everybody. And, I think it's the same thing with catfish, stripers, anything else. If you got people that are willing to help you, teach you, give you confidence in catching fish, then when you catch one, you realize that, hey, man, this ain't going to be the last one I ever catch. That's what I thought. I mean, first time I caught a 12-pound catfish, I was like, I'll never catch one like this again. I'll never see anything like this. And I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that are, probably think the same thing, depending on where you're fishing at. You may not have a lot of big fish, but circle back to my point. I think teaching people how to fish and having confidence doing it gives them a lot more appreciation and respect for the resource. So that's my whole goal in trying to do this. So anyway, that was a whole long big outro. That's what happens, folks. Any of y'all that are new here, when Dieter ain't catching fish, he rambles and jacks his jaws for a while. Let's see where we're at. Almost to the top. We're in about 17 feet of water. We're going to get down this flat and just see if there's some fish out here feeding. It's what time is it? Almost 11. We've been at it a little bit over an hour. It's not too bad. You have a chicken idea. You gave me the chicken idea. I put garlic, salt on my chicken, and killed them on the catfish. Is that Claire? Yeah, Claire. The chicken thing shot me, to be perfectly honest, Claire. It was, I was amazed at how many fish I caught. My buddy Mac Byram up on Lake Norman, I know he fishes with it. He marinates his in garlic, and I don't know, I kind of halfway dismissed it. I caught fish on it. If you do not have access to some bait, it's not a bad bait to go with. It really is. I'll have a video up. I think it's going up tomorrow. I tried the chicken gizzards and chicken hearts. Dieter don't like chicken gizzards and chicken hearts. I need to try it again. But I think I titled that video "The Worst Catfish Bait That's Ever," or something like that. I did not have any luck with that stuff. But I'm gonna try some chicken livers. I remember the last time I went fishing with chicken livers years and years ago, and I said I'll never do that again. And I'm gonna do it again, just to do it, just to see if I can catch some fish. David Martin, throwing some money in there. Thank you, pal. Little island heading toward Belmont Landing, anchor 2 rods deep and too shallow. I know exactly what you're talking about, dude. Actually, the fish I caught yesterday were right near there. I was drifting. There was stuff. They were stacked on the channel edge. They were not there this evening when I rode through there, which was kind of interesting. But I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I know exactly where that's at. I caught some in there drifting yesterday, coming up out of the deep water. That's what clued me in, and that's going to be in a video probably next week or so about the thermocline being gone in some parts of the lake, up here being part of it, and just kind of what's going on there. So yeah, good stuff, man. Gizzards with catfish nectar. Catfish nectar works pretty good. Catfish nectar. Is that some kind of juice you put on it or something? Some kind of spray? Do a vid on Lake Watery. Nicholas, I've got some on Lake Watery. If you go here to the channel or go here on YouTube, just type in Dieter Melhorn, Lake Watery. There'll be a bunch of them that come up with catfish, and I think the one with my son catching his personal best was down there. That was a 60-pound blue, and there's a bunch of striper fishing ones in there too. So anyway, yeah. So what bait am I using? Caden, you came in late, I guarantee it. I think that's the most popular question tonight. Tonight is bluegill. I caught some bluegill on rod and reel, and I caught those. I had some yesterday and some today. And so yeah, it's is what it is. I may be able to catch them with some other stuff, but it's an easy bait to catch right now, and they'll hit it if they hit anything. So Catfish Clothing was asking me, what did they talk about the podcast? I do have a podcast, guys. It's kind of new. I was supposed to put one up today, but I didn't because I was slack. And it's the first time I missed a Thursday. They go up every Thursday. If you go to my website, DieterMelhornFishing.com, right there on the opening page, there's a big black block that says Dieter Melhorn Fishing Podcast. You can click on it. You can listen on, I think it's actually hosted on Anchor, but you can listen on, is it Spotify, iTunes, Google, every podcast place out there has it. So it's Dieter Melhorn Fishing. It's pretty simple. It's kind of like this channel. It's all the same. But yeah, go to DieterMelhornFishing.com, my website, and it's right there on the front page. And I kind of, it's kind of like this, except I talk on topic for like an hour, talk about all kinds of different stuff. And yeah, so it's pretty, it's pretty interesting. I've got a few more that I need to get together, but I kind of got behind here on a bunch of stuff just because of work. So you need to go to Wheeler or Wilson to break your PB. Yes, Dustin. There's some big fish there. Some big fish on the James too. I've been hung right around that 60, 61 pound mark, and it's funny. That's just kind of the top end around here. And if I never caught one above 61 pounds, I would not complain a bit, because that is a great, great fish, especially for the bodies of water that I fish. And I'll be honest with you, I'd love to go catch one, but here's my one. Here's where I get weird with this. Okay, I'm gonna sip a drink here. If I go catch one, I gotta go do it. There's nothing wrong with going with a guide and catching one. Nothing wrong with that at all. Don't get me wrong. But for me, I don't mind going with somebody from the area that knows their way around, that kind of stuff. But I want to do it on my gear, finding the fish, just so I can say I did it. I don't know if that's crazy, weird, or what. But yeah, that's, you know, I don't know. That's just kind of one of those. I just don't want to go with a guide, have somebody put a rod in my hand and me catch it. I know that's kind of stupid and everything, but I want to be the one to do it. So my point in all this is, and the thing with personal best, and I think I may do a podcast on this, but so you'll get a sneak peek at it here. It's personal best, big fish, large fish. It's all relative to where you're at and the body of water that you're fishing. There's nothing wrong. I had somebody the other day that was messaging and was like, man, I just love to catch a 30-pound fish, but all we got are, 12-pound channel cats, the biggest. Listen, if that's all you got, that is what it is. You'll never, some places we'll never catch a 20-pound channel cat out of this lake. It's just not going to happen. We don't have them. Just not going to happen. You guys on the Red River, totally different story. You can catch them up there. We just don't have that here. Same thing with some parts of the country don't have flatheads. So, that is what it is, man. Play, you got your kind of fish hard, fish for the biggest in the body of water and what's reasonable for where you're fishing. So, don't feel like, you're missing out or second-class citizen because you're, you see people catching 50, 60, 70, 80, 90-pound fish. most lakes don't have fish that size, especially you start getting that 70, 80, 90 pound class. That's most bodies of water don't have a fishable population of that, I guess is the best way to put it. You may be able to catch one. There may be one swimming out there, but you can't really go target those fish if they don't exist. So, just my little motivational speech there. Let's see. Something creaking. Somebody was asking, how's the bite going? Nick came in, probably came in late. We got two. I think one about 12 pounds, one about 10. Two blues. It's not on fire. Slow dragging it through here. I'm up on a flat now. I'm not seeing as much life in here, but I'm kind of getting to a I think a sweet spot. Do I have any night fishing bank videos? No, I don't. I don't do. Do you have any night fishing from bank videos? No, Carl, I don't. I don't bank fish anymore. That's how I started. But I don't. I've thought about doing some. But there's also a part of me that goes, well, am I doing them just to do them? I don't know. It can be like putting Catfish Dave in a boat. It's just, this is kind of my thing. I started out bank fishing, and I can remember it clear as the bell, and where I was sitting at fishing, it was on up from here. And I remember sitting there one day, and I said, fishing for catfish, that's what I fish for. And I said, one day a boat went by. I said, I'm going to have a boat one day. I'm sure my live will. So I'm going to have a boat one day. And I said, I said, you know what, I'm a grown man. I can go buy a boat. So I went and bought a boat. And so the journey has begun. But with that said, I've kind of gotten, what's that funky thing? Oh, that's the bar across the top. Here recently, I've just kind of started playing around with some different stuff. And there is a guy here on YouTube that has a channel. I fished a tournament with him, and he won it. It was the YouTubers tournament, and his channel is Big Nasty Fishing. I think Fishing with Big Nasty or Big Nasty Fishing with Big Nasty. But anyway, his name, he goes by Big Nasty. Got a big white beard. He's a big dude. I'm a big dude. He's a good 5 inches taller than me. But yeah, he does a lot of bank fishing. He fishes for gar. We don't have alligator gar here. We got long-nosed gar. And he does a bunch of it. And I'm thinking about getting up with him and going out with him. But yeah, check his channel out, Big Nasty, Fishing with Big Nasty. Fishing with Big Nasty is the name of it. But if you look up my video from the YouTubers tournament, he caught the, what was it? Is that fish 50? It's right at 50. 50 pounder, and ended up winning the tournament. So that was cool. For the splash. Patriot James Catfishing put that on. So Travis loves my sexy glasses. That is wonderful. Can I please, please, please have a shout out? SCG. What does SCG stand for? SCG Fishing. I'm just curious. It's too close to the Savannah River chain gang. It makes me nervous. What pay lake do you take fish to? The pay lake right here that is free to fish. I've had people contact me about buying fish, and my thing is I've got a whole podcast on pay lakes. I did a video about them one time talking about them just to bring people up to date on what they are. And honestly, I don't have anything against pay lakes in the sense that they buy fish from because they're a commercial operation. So if you've got a commercial operation, you go buy fish from a commercial fish farm and put them in there. I have no problem with that. My issue is when you start getting them from public waters and turn our public waters into a commercial fishery and then putting them into a place where they will not survive. That's where I have my issues with it. And I think the lakes are fine. I just don't like how they get trophy fish for them, if that makes any sense. They could buy bigger fish from the fish farms. The cost is prohibitive. They can find people to provide them big fish much cheaper. So that's my issue with it. Big fish don't live in small lakes, plain and simple. These little these pay lakes, the fish, they shrink in size. They don't get bigger. There's just not enough food for them, and there's the old adage that fish grow to the size of the water that they live in, and you're just not going to have a fish just aren't going to grow big. The thing about pay lakes, I think, is, and I grew up around them. We've got them all around here. Ours are carp lakes. They carp fish. They're basically, it's legalized gambling. That's all it is. You pay money to set up. They have prizes every hour for the biggest fish. Blah blah blah, and different pots you can buy into. It's all legalized gambling, and I grew up around those things. Those things were all around here, and those fish too come from the public waters. Uh, Probably the biggest difference there is that sport fishing wise, carp is not as much pursued as catfish are, and but still they're taking the fish out too. So yeah, I don't know what the solution is. I think pay lakes are great for people. There's a lot of older people that have very easy access on pay lakes. There's a lot of the ones around here you can drive your car right up to where you're fishing. Somebody's handicapped, disabled. You got some, military veteran that got his legs blown off and he's in a wheelchair. He has a very hard time getting to the water where I put my boat in. So I'm very compassionate to that side, to where access to people, older people, that kind of thing is a very easy access. But I'm also very selfish in the fact that those are my trophy fish that I'm putting back that are being commercialized, and that's where my complaint comes in. So, I don't begrudge anybody that fishes the places. I mean, you fish them, It is what it is. It may be the only option you got, and if it's the only option you got, I'd much rather have you paying money to go fish at a pay lake than going out and doing dope and drinking and driving and whatever. There's a lot worse things that you could be doing. So that's kind of my take on it. But I wish we would get some regulations in place. And there are some regulations in some places that limit what's going on with it. So I just don't like seeing our natural resources get robbed for commercial use, because the sustainability of that is just right there. So love what you do. Me and my kids love your channel. Learn so much from y'all. Bye bye. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Very nice. Going to Alaska to go salmon fishing on Monday. Now, what does that say, young kid? Can you eat those salmon? Somebody told me that some of those like spawning salmon you can't really like eat because they're like nasty and emaciated and stuff from running up there to spawn. I don't know if that's true or not, or I don't know if that's the same salmon, but I heard that somewhere. They're kind of like stupid and easy to catch. Is that the same ones you're going to be fishing? So, what's up from West? Does that say West Virginia? Yes, that is West Virginia. What is West Virginia? Is that middle West Virginia? Because I was just in West Virginia. I've got family in Ripley, West Virginia. Used to go to Cooks Lake years ago. Carp fishing, yes I am. I've shuttled food to neighbors' alcoholic dads that would fish down there when I was a kid, carp fishing. So yeah, so there you go. Let's sit here. Old Cooks Lake, still there. Sign's still there, I think. But there was one, probably a bunch of y'all know about Bearcat Lake. If you're from the area, they tore down the old gas station now, but it's right over near the airport. We used to go over there when we were kids. Parents drop us off. You paid to fish, and you would catch little bullheads in there, and would catch 50 or 75 of them, take them home and clean them. They bought all theirs from a pond, pay lake, not a pond, but a commercial fishery. Bring them in trucks. It was a fish farm, and dump them in. So, yeah. Let's just see if there's any other question. Scott's asking about Lowrance or Humminbird. I'll be honest with you, dude. All I've ever used is Lowrance, so I don't really know anything on Humminbird. I tell people that I pay the money and get the best you can. I mean, if you spend you'll get your money's worth in whatever you spend. They're very competitive on their products. Both of them work really good. Some people, a lot of it's an emotional attachment to certain things, color features, that kind of stuff. the way it functions. Mine works fine. It tells me what I need to do. The single biggest thing, the most important thing for me is the mapping. The mapping is very important. Somebody just asked about the structure scan. I use it. Uh, it's like earlier, but I'm gonna turn back toward the river channel. Not bad going that way. I ain't feeling no love up here. Uh, the structure scan, size scan comes in handy for one, clarifying when you see something. You see something down there, it's kind of cluttered, and you go, what is that? You can look at that and poof, tell whether it's a brush pile, rock, or a fish. And it's good for that. It's also good in shallow water. When I pull up in 3, 4, 5 feet of water, looking out through the water column to see if there's bait fish in there, because obviously you're not going to see anything underneath the boat in that deep of water. So that's where it comes in handy for that. You know, picking out well-defined structure, seeing a tree back over there is nice for that. But don't think you have to have it. You'll be absolutely fine without it. So, what was that? Do I ever come up to Kentucky? I come to Kentucky every year to deer hunt. I go out there to Christian County, Hopkinsville, that area. I'm out there every year, opening week, to do some deer hunting. I haven't fished up there. I came to the Catfish conference, and what else? I was at the race. I worked the race. When was that? 2 weeks ago? Is that right? Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Got to see Jimmy Houston there. Jimmy, if you're in the feed watching tonight, you're never up this late. But hey, nice seeing you up there. He's usually in bed by now. Just looking through here. I heard size scans where it's at. It's nice to have. It's a good extra feature. But for me, mapping's the most important. Bait 'em boys. It is 87 degrees here. That's the water temperature. Air temperature feels like it's in the 70s. We've got some half decent weather. I would be out here first thing in the morning fishing early. Austin wants to come to Tawakoni. That is one place I want to visit. Was actually trying to finagle something to go out and work the race out there and come out early, or maybe come back late. That's definitely a place that's on my list. Because of work, sometimes there's some places I could actually finagle some stuff to go fish them, but that seems like that fishery would have a lot of the same fishing characteristics as the way we fish. So, yeah, anyway. Cool, thanks for the thing on your initials. Don't tell me what your name is, because if you're a kid, we don't want a bunch of stuff in here. But yeah, that's cool. I was just curious what that stood for. Signing off tonight, fellas. Palmetto Cats, thank you very much, pal. I enjoyed having you in here. Thanks for everything. Monster fish. Austin, how big is that lake? It's big. I mean, it's like open big, as in kind of like Santee with winds affecting it and all that kind of stuff, right? So somebody was asking, Scott, what's your favorite setup for rod, reel, and braid size? I don't use braid for catfish. I use braid on my, I use it on my little bitty rods. Here's what's funny. I'll show you something. Let me grab one of them. Here you go. Here's a good example. This is one of my perch crappie rods. It's a B&M rod. Little small spinning reel. And it's got braid on it. I put braid on this because I like it for sensitivity. I use mono, 30 pound. I use bait casters. I'm not a spinning reel guy. Nothing against spinning reels. You can catch plenty of fish, catch anything you want to. It's just ease of operation. It's a little bit better with a bait caster than it is spinning reel as far as letting out line and stuff like that. There's just some stuff. Drag wise, there's some stuff. Sorry, I'm looking at a boat to make, yeah, he's clear. So yeah, and then I've got, right now I'm fishing with Catch the Fever rods, Big Cat Fever rods. That's what I've got out here right now. All of these are medium action. So on these waters, lake fishing like this, these are plenty. I've also got some of their heavier rods, the medium heavy rods, and sorry, I'm just listening to their conversation. Uh, the medium heavy rods are nice when you get a little bit more current, a little more weight, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's those are the things I'm using. 30-pound line. I got a variety of reels: C300s, the Ancient Mariners, and then the Lew's. So, do I do any hunting, fishing in Ohio? I haven't, Matthew, and I want to. My son was asking me about that. My son's more of a hunting addict. I'm a hunting addict. When deer season gets here, you don't see any more fishing out of me. Uh, but my son is really, really addicted to it, and I'd love to get up to Ohio. Somebody from here on YouTube has invited me, or they invited me up for turkey hunting, not deer hunting. I think somebody's hunting, deer hunting on their land up there, but I could turkey hunt it, but it just didn't work out this year. So we'll see what happens. What's cool is Ohio is it takes me about 7 hours to get to Kentucky, and I can be in some decent hunting land up there in the same amount of time. So would love to do it. The thing about there is I think when the firearm season, shotgun muzzleloader comes in, it's cold. It's cold up there. So a little different world. I've been to Canada deer hunting in cold, 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 and that's a different world. But if I get the opportunity, I'll take it. So we'll see. Catfish Charlie from Tennessee River, watching and fishing not far from Watts Bar. Love Watts Bar. I love that whole area. I'm gonna have to get back up there and try to catch some fish. Do I like any other kind of fishing? That's a good question. I do. I'm not a bass fisherman. I'll go ahead and take that one off the plate real quick. I do a lot of white perch fishing, mainly because I use them for bait. I do a little bit of crappie fishing because I use them for bait, and I like to striper fish also. I've kind of shied away from it recently. I haven't done as much. The thing I found was I was trying to do some stuff uh, for the channel, but the channel right now, with the way everything's going, is real catfish oriented as far as what works out in the algorithm and where stuff's suggested to. So that's kind of what I've been sticking with. But I also love to shark fish. I love that's my coastal thing. Is that a bite? Oh my God! I did it again. I did it again. Turn my life. I did it again. Y'all are distracting. It's down to the knot. I gotta spool all that line back on. Look at that. It's y'all's fault. See? In case y'all are wondering why I'm doing this, that's a spool, a lot of line, hundreds of yards of line. What happens is I cast it out, let it sink to the bottom, a little bit of line come off, then I knock it in gear after some line comes off. Well, get it on here. Make sure I hadn't done any other ones that way. Got a jack in my jaws and talking, I forget that it's out there. I forget that it's not knocked in gear. So I have to reel all that line back on. This is twice tonight. I hardly ever do this. The biggest reason is because generally I'm not distracted and talking to people on the camera. So, anyway. Bigger problems in life to worry about, I know. Just have to sit here and listen to me whine for a second. Whine and wind. So, that 30 pounds should take long to reel back on. That's true, New School. It won't take as long. 20-pound takes longer. The good thing is it's going on nice and tight this time, so this is not the fastest retrieve on this one. That'll teach me to be stupid. If you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough. That's what I tell my kid. Am I to the knot yet? I ain't even to the backing knot. It's gonna take a while. See if there's anything in here. Doodle doodle doodle. least I got rid of line twist. Yeah, it's everything's stretched out pretty good here. Yeah, that's one good way to spool it is to yeah, get it soaking wet in the water and then reel it back on. Roll line. But yeah, somebody was asking about fishing. I do like coastal. I like shark fishing. I like. My thing is, to be perfectly honest, it's why I'm not a good trophy fisherman in the sense of what I see trophy fishing as. I like to catch fish. I like for rod to bend, and there's some times when I do some trophy fishing that I'm not. To me, what it takes to trophy fish is just eliminating small bites, and it's just not. It's not for me. I'm out here to catch some fish. Uh, Nothing wrong with that. Some people, that's what they like and what they enjoy, and but to be a true trophy fisherman, it's like being a trophy hunter. You have to be perfectly content with not catching anything, and it's kind of, or it's the exact same way with hunting. And now the hunting end, that's the way I am. I really don't shoot deer anymore. It's my son shoots them, and I hang out for something. It's got to be something mountable, and that's getting tougher and tougher. I'm getting pickier and pickier on that even. Uh, so yeah, if you ever invite me to come to your place hunting, you can be guaranteed that I'm not going to shoot the little stuff. So anyway, does your wife like to fish with you? Hard to find a woman around here that enjoys fishing. Bobby, somebody asked that earlier. No, not really. The problem is, she says every time she goes, she doesn't catch fish. Which the last time she went, she did catch fish. We went during. Matter of fact, you can look it up here on my channel. Type in Dieter Melhorn eclipse, and we had the entire family out on Santee Cooper fishing during the eclipse, the total solar eclipse that happened a couple of years ago. She caught fish, and we had fun. I got finned, and she laughed at me. It's not that she's an evil woman. It's just that she has this nervousness when people get hurt, and she starts laughing. And yes, I'm sitting there bleeding, horrible pain, and she's laughing at me. So uh, anyway, but she doesn't fish that much. So the time she's went has been in the summertime. She likes it when it's warm, and we all know fishing's not that good. So somebody was asking, what was that? What do you use to get bluegills in 85-degree water? Red worms. All I'm doing is fishing with red worms and underneath the bobber, right up on the bank. These things are in very shallow, 2 feet of water, and you just have to get them before it gets dark. I only caught a few tonight because it was the sun was set. It seemed like once that sun sets, they drop all the way to the bottom, and it's hard to get them little suckers to bite. So you need to catch them before it gets dark. I usually do good once the sun's, even in the morning. The sun kind of needs to get up, and it's it can be tough at night. So yeah, I don't, unless you put out lights and all that kind of stuff, and even then, nah. So, but yeah, that's what I use. They're around. They're fairly abundant. Fairly, once you can find a stack of them, you can just stay on them. So I've been wanting to catch some perch. I caught some shad the other day. I just hadn't felt like throwing the net. Most of the stuff, it seemed like everything has been staging up 15 to 25 feet. So it's kind of throw forever with a cast net to get that stuff, and I don't want to do it once it gets dark. I'm fishing with bluegill. So go ahead in there. Let's see. What's up, Mark? Can y'all hear me now? Mark says he can't hear me. That's weird. Good recipe for antlers. Never found a good recipe for antlers. Yep, there is not a good recipe for antlers. That's why I don't shoot that many of them. So give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me. Somebody, okay, there we go. Somebody said they couldn't hear me. Okay, I'm fine. Cool. He may have the little X thing punched there. We've been on for 96 minutes. This is a pretty long one tonight. But battery warning, probably don't have much longer. What size cast net do you prefer? I throw an 8-footer. I don't throw a really big one. 7, 8 feet is what I use, and my little technique of throwing it seems to work. So you can catch them a lot deeper if you're throwing a big cast net, but I've never taken the time to learn to throw a 10 or 12 footer. And it just is what it is. Most of the time when I'm catching stuff, it's halfway close to the top. So uh, fishing wise, if y'all came in late, by the way, great crowd tonight. There's a lot of people coming by and hanging out. I appreciate it. And all the people who donated some money in there, thank you very much for that. That goes to pay for some bandwidth. And well, I thought I had a noise. Pay for the live feed, so much appreciated. It's fun to get on here. It's more fun when we're catching fish. There always seems to be a good crowd at night, and there seems to be a sweet spot for doing it somewhere between 9 and midnight, because what we forget, I'm on the East Coast, and what we forget out here is there's 2/3 of the country that's not in the same time zone as we are. So there's a lot of people. I see a lot of people watching videos and getting online and watching stuff. I see a big spike in my views and stuff at night in that 10, 11, 12 range. And I guess it's a lot of people like me who will sit there and before you go to bed at night, lay around and watch some videos, see what's going on. If you got something like this, you can lay there on the bed and watch it or stream it to your TV or whatever. So yeah, cool. I mean, what's your location? I'm in the river. What's your location? I'm right in front of you. I'm not hard to see. I've got a big light shining on me. So hurry and catch a fish, dude. Usually, if I call you, Jeff, it'll usually work. But I'm using my phone, so I can't call you. Usually, they'll hear your voice, and I'll get bit. But I'm gonna pull back over here to some deeper water and see what happens if any of those fish are still in there. There was nothing up on this flat. I thought maybe there might be some stuff up here feeding, but I'm not even marking any bait. Everything, this plankton bloom in here looks pretty nasty. It's pretty thick, and it's showing up on the side skin too. Do you drift for catfish or anchor? Do you drift more for catfish or anchor? It all depends. Sorry about the cycle lines there on the sonar, but that just happens. But even on the side scan, there's all kinds of crap in there in that section there, and you can see it in there. And I got this cranked up, so that's not really a good representation of it, but do I like catfish? No, I love catfish. I don't just like them, I love them. They're like a family member to me. Who's that asked that? Who's that? What is this? Anchor Sorensen. Man, that's a cool name. Anchor Sorensen. That's a cool name, Anchor. That's cool. That sounds like Swedish or something. I like that name. That's my favorite name of the night, Anchor. Anker. I hope that's your real name, because that is a cool name. I'm digging that. Dirty water, no USA catfishing. It's not. It's clear down here on the upper end of the. If you go up South Fork, there's some dirty water up there, from the rain and stuff. Do I use skipjack much? Not out here. We don't have skipjack in here, and yeah, so you'd have to get them shipped in or something. And it's good bait. When I go to Tennessee, I try to get my hands on it. Crank up the speed here a little bit. Somebody was asking, do I anchor or drift? It just kind of depends. Like tonight, I was going to anchor up. That was the plan initially. And I saw fish in so many different places that I just decided to cover some water. Obviously, it didn't work too good. We're going to see what happens when I get over here to where I was going to anchor. It just really depends what's going on. If it's really, really bad windy, I prefer to drift. I'm not a big fan of trying to anchor the boat in the wind. But sometimes you have to, depending on what's going on current-wise and where fish are and if you're held up on structure. When I'm out here in the summertime and I'm out here when there's any boat traffic, which I try not to, and you're getting beat all over the place, I prefer drifting, man. Drifting, trolling, dragging, moving. It's just I don't want to try to anchor and that kind of stuff. Somebody asked if fish were scattered. They are scattered, but they're scattered in deep water where there's no thermocline. But yeah, they're scattered. They're kind of all over the place. Uh, so that's why I'm just trying to cover some water, see if there's any biting fish pattern, anything going on. So, but a lot of them, I was saying earlier when I started this feed almost 2 hours ago, a lot of these fish are suspended, and anytime I see suspended fish, usually it clues me in that they're not biting. So that can, that's why I don't go totally, because like, oh man, there's all these great arches. And when you see the edited video of this, I shot some video, there's all these great arches and they're sitting halfway up in the water column. And sure, you can downline to them and you can park over the top of them and try to hit them in the head. And yes, you will catch some fish that way, but it's usually just, it can be, it's not as good a fishing as when they're oriented to the bottom in a feeding mode. So hopefully that makes some sense. Anchor, Anchor has a question. I like that name. Hey, Jeff, Reeling the Blues, if you're still in here, tell your son-in-law and your daughter, if they have any more kids, name them Anchor, Anker. That is a fishing name. I love that name. So, yes, I am in the U.S. Anchor. I am in outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, and I am fishing on the Catawba River Channel Lakes. And I realize that there's could be people from all over the world watching this thing. But yeah, that's where I'm at, and I'm drifting for catfish. We've got blue catfish, flatheads, and channel cats, and white cats in here. But those are the big ones. So that's what I'm doing. And yes, I do love catfish. I love fishing for them. I love them. I kissed one earlier. If you go back in this video, the first or second one I caught, I kissed it. Matter of fact, I've got slime on my lips probably still. I like it. It sounds like a good name for my channel. Anchor Fishing. That would be good, yeah. Anchor, we're gonna steal your name, pal. That's a cool name. My fishing Saturday. I'm gonna fish somewhere. I got something to do that morning, but I'd like to get out that night. I'll probably try to go out and maybe go live again. I'm trying to give live PD a run for their money. That would be, how about that? Y'all can watch live PD on your TV and then have me like on your phone there in your lap while you're watching it. So I love I love it. I may undo my vasectomy. See if it comes back. Hopefully it came back. Yeah. Do you ever use night crawlers? What's your take on them, Carl Bond? I use red worms more than anything, but it's funny you mentioned it. I'm thinking about doing a video on them just to do a little side-by-side. If I could get on a half-decent drift bite, which I haven't done exactly. It's been spotty, but if I could get on a decent bite where I could just catch some eaters, I would like to do a side-by-side. I haven't fished with night crawlers in a long time. But I would like to do a side-by-side just to see how they would compare, especially for eater-sized fish. So, yes, Anchor, I am in North Carolina, right on the South Carolina line. As a matter of fact, I can see South Carolina from where I'm at right now. So yeah, anyway. It's a nice lake. It's adjacent to Charlotte, North Carolina. And fished with my 7-year-old dad today, but had a great day. That's all that matters, dude. It's all about the time and the experience. It's just like with hunting and fishing is about the same way, is that most of the good memories are surrounding doing all of it. So yeah, just the time being able to get out there, especially with an older parent, grandparent, that kind of stuff. Those opportunities will not be there forever, and it's cool when you can get out and get them on the water, and hopefully my kids drag my butt out there when I'm old and cart me out. And anyway, I'm about to leave, going to Anchor. Thanks for doing that, pal. Just remember, the comments are turned off by YouTube on my channel. So when you want to comment, go to the community section. I always try to put up a link to any videos. Don't feel like you just have to comment on that video. You can comment on anything if you got a question. I try to read all of them. I appreciate you subscribing. I appreciate you taking the time to watch tonight. Let's go. Where are you from, by the way? You may have said it earlier. Where is Anchor from? Anchor, 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 Anchor. Where are you from, Anchor? Tell me where you're from before you leave. Seemed like a decent kid. See if it reconnects. Man, I'm getting to a bad cell area here. I think it's starting to. Just looking here at the screen. Guess they're have fun. Thank you, thank you. A group video with 3 or 4 cat men also fishing vid line. That's doable somehow. It's going to be interesting to see what evolves with all this technology and stuff over the next few years as far as streaming people and getting them in. I think it's just fascinating that you guys are able to sit here and watch this and share this with me, and I'm able to share it with you. It's the world that we live in, to say the least. So, yeah, fun. Let's see. There comes a boat making a turn toward me. I'm gonna light them up here. Sorry, you're gonna lose. I'm still here, guys. Send me back up here. I'm just trying to blind the crap out of this boat, so they know what's going on. Yep, he can't see. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yep, it's tough to see. Anyway, I'll tell you what, folks. I'm gonna jump off of here. It is 11:30, and it's been a cool night. Thanks for watching. Try to do this some more, and hopefully next time catch a few more fish. Talk to you soon.